Greetings. This is General CJG here, coming to you with another State of Star Wars video, but this time it's one that we planned for a while and it's a pretty special one. So we are gonna have a chat with some special guests. But first, here is my co-host.
Wedge Antilles standing by.
Jedi Master Daniel 96, Red 5 standing by.
Yep, that's my co-host. And for this occasion, we have the Resistance broadcast. Everyone, introduce yourselves one by one.
Hi, I'm John Hoey, standing by.
I'm James Baney. Standing by, I guess.
I'm Lacey Gilleran, and I'm standing by.
All right, squad in attack formation. Let's do this.
Right.
Yep, so without further ado, let's begin this chat with the Resistance broadcast. So, Wedge, you take the lead on this one.
All right, so like you guys, obviously, I was really big into Solo when it came out, and I've bbeen dying for a sequel for it because there's just so much to explore, and being an EU fan, I really loved what they did with the young Han Solo books. So seeing more of young Han in canon is something that I'm just dying. When you first started the hashtag Make Solo 2 happen, did you anticipate such a big reaction? How did you feel when all the fans sort of just came together, some of the actors?
Go ahead, John.
It's hard to say because, and this might be a little long-winded, and James and Lacey could probably fill in gaps here, but it started really with a T-shirt. It was a tongue-in-cheek idea because Solo didn't do well, and we're like, wouldn't it be funny if when the Blu-ray came out, we put out a T-shirt that said "Make Solo 2 happen" instead of "Star" and "Wars" around Solo. It said "Make" and "Happen." We put the 2 in there, so we put the T-shirt out and we used the hashtag to accompany the T-shirt, and then people really took to it, and people drew themselves to it. And we found it picking up steam with fans, and we realized that it meant a lot more to people than what we initially did it as, which was, there's no way they're making a Solo 2 because of the box office, and then it kind of snowballed into this whole thing. So none of us, I'm speaking for the three of us here, but none of us thought it was going to be anything like what it turned into. It wasn't planned to. It wasn't supposed to be a bring back the Clone Wars or whatever Clone Wars saved. It just became it organically. And we ran with it. And as it got bigger, we've upped the ante. I don't know what you guys want to add to that, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar. It feels like we were like, let's make a shirt that says "Make Resistance Season 3 happen." And it's like, that's just it. It's like, hey, we love it, but we're pretty sure that's probably not going to happen. And then just everybody float to it and said, we loved this show, or you know what I mean? And it just kind of turned into something that we're like, hey, we were kind of saying it semi as a joke, but now that it's kind of like a thing, yes, we can be a little bit more upfront. Yes, we would actually legitimately want that thing to happen. So it kind of became a more real thing out of what John was describing as a tongue-in-cheek joke initially.
Yeah, John, when he came to James and I about it, I openly was like, that's kind of dumb. So that's what happened to start with. But it was more like that's dumb in the sense of it would never happen. Not that we didn't want it to happen. And then people started talking about it. So we were like, oh, okay. So other people did feel the way we felt. And we've noticed that over the past few years is a lot of people have been coming out all the time online being like, oh, someone else liked this. I really like this movie. It's my favorite one that Disney's made. And I feel like for a couple months, especially after the movie came out, a lot of people kind of felt ashamed for liking it. Like it wasn't cool to like it. So I think this campaign that John has started is something that fans that felt that they weren't comfortable in liking it can now openly say that they like it. And they have this community that backs them for liking this thing that seemingly no one else liked. But now all of a sudden everybody likes it. It seems like I feel like it's like a cool thing to like it now.
Yeah.
I was stopped today by somebody that was like, because I'm wearing the shirt and they're like, I 100% back that, man. Such a good movie. And I was like, this is crazy because this is like, he doesn't even know, but like, this is exactly like what the campaigan is like.
Yeah.
And then you were
being
like, "Can
open
I
and
get some money
support.
off my new car?" And the guy was like, "No, sir."
Yeah, I got like, like 10 grand marked off and gave him the name of the podcast and said, you should subscribe. But no, yeah, it's a conversation starter because I think people see it and they go like, oh man, that's crazy. I didn't know there were people that were like backing this,
Mhm.
I see. Very
Nice,
interesting. So that's how it
pretty
all
good
started.
story.
Because of a T-shirt.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How all great things start with a fun t-shirt design.
All the best ideas in history started with a T-shirt.
All right.
Declaration of
It
Independence.
was sliced bread
like
was
the-
a T-shirt.
It's like the Forrest Gump thing where he like wipes his face and then it's the smiley face
Yeah,
t-shirt.
yeah.
Nice. Well, next question, Wedge.
All right. Next is has Lucasfilm approached you guys or like taken notice of the Make Solo 2 like campaign?
Well, James,
Hashtag.
you had a recent experience this past winter, so why don't you tackle that?
That's probably the most notable thing is I was invited to the global press conference for The Rise of Skywalker, and while I was there, I was able to attend like a sit down conversational thing with some of the people that were involved with the movie, one of which being Michelle Rejwan, who is the vice president of live action development for Lucasfilm. And not during the actual meeting, but after it was over and, she was getting up and kind of walking towards me, I said, "Hey, I just want to stop you for a second. I just wanted to ask, do you know about what we do with Make Solo 2 happen?" And she was very open that they are very aware of the campaign and what we're doing, and that they love it and they're very proud of the film and they just love seeing that the fans enjoy it and would like to see more stories in that world. Then she followed it up by taking a picture and sending it away, which I later found out was she sent the picture to John Kasdan, who is obviously the writer and son of Lawrence Kasdan, so who's very heavily involved in the story and wanting to make more, as he stated on his social media. So I took that as, everything that we've done for Make Solo 2 happen is enough to get in the eyeballs of the people who are in control of
At the top.
the possibility of making it happen, and that they are very aware of it and they love what we're doing, because they're happy with their film. And I thought that was about as good as we ever feel like we could do without them saying we're doing it.
Yeah. And I know Lacey has a really good reflection of a Ron Howard story about this, but I'll just say we know actors are aware of it. We know Alden's aware of it, even though he's not on social media. Jonas Sotomo, who plays Chewbacca, was on our podcast talking about it.
Oh.
And jumped off the stage at the
and he
press
saw
conference
James's
to-
sweatshirt.
Yeah. Came over
Chew-
and talked to me for a minute.
He's on board with it. John Powell, the composer, tweets about it all the time. Rob Bordeaux acknowledged it, who's the producer and head at ILM. So all down the line, everyone involved there pretty much knows about it. But I loved Lacey's recollection of Ron Howard acknowledging it.
Wait, what? What happened?
Remember when how you told me about his tweet?
Oh, yeah. So the first Make Solo 2 Happen Day, which came about because we wanted a day where we just dedicated talking about Solo, which the whole day itself leading up to it, we were like, okay, we'll have like 20 people chat about this with us and like we'll post some GIFs and have a good time. And then, when we woke up at, I think it was like 7 or 8 a.m. in the morning here on the East Coast, we got a text from James being like, there's 8,000 tweets already. and we were like, oh, okay. So all day was just kind of like a whirlwind of different reactions and people from Lucasfilm and concept artists, especially sharing their stuff that they'd worked on, and people being like, oh, I heard it's Solo Day, so I'm going to share this, which it was Make Solo 2 Happen Day, but we'll take it anyway, that they thought it was just Solo Day. But on the way home from work, my phone started like blowing up which usually means that something happened. So I was at a stop sign. I remember I got off the highway and I was at a stop sign. I wasn't driving. And I looked at my phone, and it was because Ron Howard had retweeted our picture from Celebration, which we had tweeted in April in Chicago, with like a smiley face. That's all he said, and that's all he had to say. So I called the first number at the top of my list, which was John, and was just screaming at him. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even think it was like coherent thoughts. I was like,
Yeah.
you need to go on Twitter right now. And then he was yelling at me, and then we were both like, okay, bye. And then we just hung up. And then that was
And then one of our fans made an account on Twitter at Make Solo 2 Happen. And then they kind of like gave us the account. They're like, well, we made this for you, so no one else took it. And Ron Howard follows that. And he only follows like 300 people.
Holy shit.
That's pretty awesome.
In the entire world?
Yeah, Ron Howard doesn't like following people, but he likes following Make Solo 2 Happen, apparently.
if you're Ron Howard, you don't have to follow anyone.
No.
Okay, noted.
He follows Tom Hanks and
And Make Solo 2 Happen.
And Bryce.
Yeah.
is that 2 Tom Hanks references from me already? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
Now, Ron
Yeah.
Howard follows 2 of America's sweethearts, Make Solo
Oh,
2
yeah.
Happen, and Tom Hanks.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's one way to put
And
it.
he's friends with the creator
Yeah.
of Star Wars.
Yes.
Lucas.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that was interesting. So, what's next on our list? Okay.
All right. Would you like to see a Solo sequel as a movie in the theater or a Disney Plus show, or are you fine with either one?
Lacey, why don't you start that one?
So initially, before, because this campaign started before The Mandalorian came out, I think we were kind of all apprehensive of what that meant to be a Disney Plus series. And as soon as that happened, we were like, oh no, we're on board. I personally would prefer a series. And I've been saying that from early on before all these people started being like, oh, but what about a series? I was like, no, we've been saying that the whole time. It would just be more adventures, more time to spend on multiple characters. You're not pushing it all into 2 hours of time. And I think the story of Han Solo and Chewbacca play into a series better than it does for a movie, because they have done so much in the time period that they've been together.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's and the hashtag itself is a hashtag, and hashtags are supposed to be succinct and to the point and getting something across with limited characters. And it's a lot easier to say Make Solo 2 Happen and mean any follow-up to Solo than say hashtag make a follow-up to Solo on your Disney Plus streaming series happen, please.
Lucasfilm, please.
Lucasfilm hashtag. So Make Solo 2 Happen is about everything. But yeah, I agree. At this point, I don't think a theatrical release is likely anyway. And just thinking about how they could tell stories with them working for Jabba and going on these different adventures, they could really serialize it and make it almost like if you think of like the Young Indiana Jones type of thing, and where it's like the adventures of Han Solo. I think it would work really well. I don't know if James has anything to add to that, but
no, I mean, as far as it being a movie, I think I'd be fine with that, because I think that they, like I was saying earlier, John Kasdan has laid out, he said, we have the idea that we want to go for, but I think the idea of having the serialized, like, every episode is a new adventure, or like this season is a new adventure. I think that they could make that such an ongoing story, that fans, no matter when you jump in, you can jump in whenever, because you already have a good starting place, because everybody knows who Han and Chewie are. And you don't need to necessarily be familiar with everything around them, because everything around them is just going to be things that you associate with what you imagine they were doing anyway. Pirates, smugglers, drinking, gambling, women, spaceships, scoundrels. Like, it's like all the things that I think generally people associate with Star Wars can also be in this series. And it's just, I think they could just venture and do so much with the show, rather than trying to focus too much on like one big villain or something like that. Yeah. Series for me too.
Okay. Nice. Well, there's that. Now, next question.
What do you guys think of a possibility of each from Solo getting its own spin-off series like Enfys Nest, Lando, and then a Maul and Kira series?
I don't know. I also find it interesting that that's been tossed around a lot. And there's also rumors of Enfys Nest appearing in Cassian Andor. There being a Crimson Dawn series that involves everyone, because it would be the Crimson Dawn, the Pike, and the Hutts. So then you can bring in Han and Chewie that way. There's a lot of different avenues they could take. I don't know if each character needs their own series, but I think it would be cool to see them all appear again in other ways. Because I don't even know if I'd want to see a Lando series. I don't even know what that would be. I keep racking my head on what that would possibly be. But I think we'll see a lot of these characters again. I just don't know that they're each going to be getting their own series. And that's just me speculating. But.
Yeah, I'm for that if possible. It's not necessarily Solo 2, but I like the idea of something like that. I actually, contrary to John, I actually think that my next best guess would probably be the Lando series. I think that almost like kind of makes sense, because I feel like he's a similar character, but they might be able to just kind of play the tone a little bit differently. But that, I don't know, that's just me. It's whatever they want to do.
Okay. Lacey, something to say?
Not really. I agree with both of them, actually, and I don't want to pick a side.
Okay. Okay. Well, there's that. I guess we got nothing else, so wanna go to the conclusion now?
Yeah, why not? Unless you guys want to talk about anything else, like Mandalorian or
Yeah, I mean, so next Friday on September 25th, we're doing a live stream Solo watch-along party at 8:45 U.S. East time. And we're going to be watching it on Disney Plus, and then we're going to be doing our commentary for it on our YouTube channel. So youtube.com/Star Wars Newsnet videos. And we're going to have the live chat up, and we're going to be releasing Make Solo 2 Happen enamel pins and discounting all of our Make Solo 2 Happen shirts, and just having a good time celebrating Solo. So next Friday, September 25th at 8:45 East, and we'll have a counter too. So if anyone's late, they can hop in and know what point the movie's in, so they can catch up.
That's awesome. I'm still joining for that.
Nice.
That's like all my other plans.
Cancel everything. Yes.
All right.
Stay home. Stay safe. Yes.
I'm already at home 24/7, so
I hear you. Yeah.
there is that. Well, is that all in terms of plans? Or you got something else cooking up that we don't know?
Other than that, the only thing to look forward to, we do a separate show called the Mando Fan Show. As Mandalorian season 2 is right around the corner. If anybody is interested, if they like, listening to our show, or they catch the Solo watch along party and, enjoy it or whatever, we also do that as well. So it's kind of like we bring, guests on or whatever, and could kind of talk and break down what we just saw. We do them every Friday as the episodes drop. So yeah, Mando Fan Show.
Okay, nice.
Nice.
All links will be in the description. So
Thanks.
there is that. So, anything else to say?
Hold on, James. Is that an X-Wing miniatures box in the background?
It is. Yes.
Nice. You play the game?
Actually, I don't, believe it or not. It was kind of given to me. I think initially the goal was that it was going to be a giveaway, and we've just kind of never gotten around to it. But yeah, I just have had it sitting there for the longest time, like ready to go whenever we want to do something with it.
Okay, because I was so ready to like nerd out about it, because it's like the one game I just play like almost religiously at this point.
I have like 3 boxes of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are they for sale?
I don't know if the pieces are like good or not, or if they're like, it's the starters, whatever. Yeah,
Stay tuned for giveaways.
Right.
Well, now you know what to do, Wedge.
I mean, I think I could thin out the collection. I'm at about 30 to 40 ships for the Rebels and the Empire. So like,
that's awesome.
Wow.
yeah, because to me it was like, one day I'm gonna run a giant like Battle Jakku like Endor style battle, but the problem is I have to find someone else to actually participate.
I always find that the tricky thing, as much as you want to be into video games, it's hard, or not video games, but like board games and stuff. It's hard to find other people who want to spend that commitment time with you, doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
Especially nowadays with the global pandemic and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
All
right.
those like clubs where you go in, it's like a comic book shop, but then there's like a back room with all these empty tables and you're like, what do you guys do here like Friday nights? And it's like, oh, it's packed. Everybody here playing.
I'd be too intimidated. I wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to do it.
Everybody
It's
here
actually
playing
not that
Magic
bad.
and all those games like that. Yeah.
Like my group, we used to play every Tuesday, like
Mhm.
because it was like back when I was going to college, the like the subway that I would take to go to school, right next to it, like literally right next to it, was like this game shop with all this like stuff. And so
Nice.
I noticed every Tuesday they would play like the XWing game, and like I
Yeah.
started staying just to watch, just observe. Then when I bought into the game, I waited a year because I was like, oh, I got so much cool stuff I want to do. I want to do like AT-ATs. I want to do this, that. And then afterwards, I joined in, and I made friends really easily and really quickly because all we do is just talk Star Wars while playing.
That's
Like little sound
sometimes it's
effects.
That sounds
that's
like a
all you
lot of
need.
fun.
Yeah.
So, got a question. What do you guys thought of the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer? We haven't asked that.
What do we think of it?
Yes.
Yeah, so we did a reaction video to it, which is on our channel, but we just recorded our podcast covering it more in depth, which is going to be out Monday, and then on Thursday we talk about it a lot. This coming Monday and Thursday. But I mean, I enjoyed it a lot. I laughed, I pumped my fist. I liked a lot of the action shots, and I liked that it left me asking more questions than I had going in.
Yeah, I'm really excited for The Mandalorian season 2. It's really nice to be excited for Star Wars again. It's been a while since we've had the build up to some live action Star Wars content, so it's really cool. And I think it's needed right now,
Oh
for
yeah,
me at least.
Agreed.
definitely.
Absolutely. It's Lucasfilm recently did that whole thing where they were like, we're taking a step back, but it's like, well, go ahead and I guess take your step back, but Mandalorian season 2, right? It's like we still got that coming, and it's something to at least be excited about because I don't know, it's almost debatable that Star Wars TV is the new movies. I don't know, it isn't really, but I think with no movies right now currently like visible on the horizon, and we have Obi-Wan, we have the Cassian Andor television show, we have more seasons of the Mandalorian. Right now TV is more in focus for Star Wars fans. It's the big property more so than the movies are. Crazy crazy times, guys. 2020, here we are.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say the biggest highlight of the Disney era is the TV aspect, I would say.
Yeah.
Bob Iger's legacy.
Yeah.
He was the one who gave us Disney Plus. We'll remember that years and years down the line, probably.
Oh yeah.
Disney Plus.
What do you think the next movie will be? Do you think it'll be the Rian Johnson trilogy or the Taika Waititi movie?
It's got to be Taika.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be, and he already said he's writing the script, so I have no doubt it's gonna be the next one.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, definitely Taika.
I wonder what
Interesting.
he's gonna tackle. In all honesty, because like it's like, will he do? I feel like strongly it's gonna be High Republic just to really help sell the books. But at the same time, I don't know why. A part of me is like thinking, oh, this is gonna be a set in the prequel era, like either Clone Wars or like maybe like the Fallout or just before, something like that. I don't know why. It's like what the whispers that keep me up at night.
Yeah, I don't think we really know what Taika's doing. He's kind of doing his thing, I guess.
Has he been radio silent on social media?
He hasn't been
No.
saying much.
I don't think about that necessarily. I think just in general with Star Wars, it's just like we have
Yeah,
untitled
I
when
mean,
it's happening
he's-
and who's involved.
I think with unlike Rian Johnson and unlike people who even work at Lucasfilm, Taika's not the type who is going to engage with fans about what he's doing. And I think that's a good thing, actually. I think there should be more separation, believe it or not. And I think it's just one of those things where we're going to get hit over the head with a lot of it. It's not going to be like sprinkled in, oh, he's doing this or this. It's just going to be like, boom, here's the whole push. This is what Taika's doing. So I'm putting it in the back of my mind for now because right now he's just writing and we have all the other stuff coming. Because I feel like if I focus on it and keep thinking about it, it's gonna feel like it's taking longer for it to get here. So I'm gonna forget about it for now, and then once I hear about it, be like, oh, that's right, Taika. Yeah, okay. So that's where I'm at.
I see. Very interesting. So, got a question. How do you guys got into Star Wars, and what are your fondest memories of it?
Go ahead, James.
I don't even really have like a super good answer. Star Wars just always kind of existed for me. I don't really remember like a very specific time. I remember the special editions being in theaters, but I don't even really remember like any sort of event, like going to see them or anything. I would say though that what was the best or specific memory of Star Wars? It's right now. Like this is my all-time biggest Star Wars memory. Like if the podcast and everything like that just ended, there's nothing that I've ever been involved with Star Wars and how heavily I'm involved with it and how involved I am with fans and like you guys, other podcast peers and John and Lacey specifically being like these like bandmates, if you will. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't think anything's ever going to top this unless we just continue to go up and up and up, which is, you know, a goal or whatever. But yeah, it's right now. It's the best time for Star Wars.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I mean, I got it. There's no romantic story for me. I got into it watching it as a kid on TV, and my dad explaining what it was. And then when the special edition came out, it really reignited my love for it. And then obviously the prequels came right behind that. I was right in my wheelhouse as a teenager, and I really, it just stuck with me. And then I don't know if I have a favorite moment. I mean, I guess going to the Last Jedi world premiere and walking the red carpet was like a whirlwind for me. So that was probably a top moment. But
Wow.
I can't top James's answer. Doing this and stuff like this has really been a great time and a lot of fun. So this era too, I agree.
Yeah, I've been into Star Wars my whole life. I got into it like first or second grade. I convinced my parents to buy a VHS for me and then got obsessed from that moment on. And it's funny because all my friends and family, no one likes it, but I do. So there's that. And I've just always been involved with it. I worked for Star Wars Celebration for several years.
You
and
worked for
in
them.
Comic-Cons and stuff like that. And then I joined the podcast like 2.5 years ago, and it's just kind of been this ever since.
Nice.
Nice.
Hmm.
What was your role in Star Wars Celebration, or what you did?
I did all the marketing and social media for them.
Awesome.
Nice.
Mhm.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
Did you like study marketing for that? Because like I'm actually majoring in marketing like right now and like going into like digital marketing and all that. Like I'm really curious, especially with Lucasfilm and like all that.
Yeah. Well, I worked with Reed Pop. It wasn't Lucasfilm. We
Okay.
partnered with Lucasfilm. But I went to school I double majored in communication and technology and then media studies, and then got my master's in digital multimedia production. So I did kind of like social media and websites and marketing. And then I basically started at a job that wasn't with Reed Pop. That was something way more boring. And I was in the same building as Reed Pop in the same company. And I saw a big Darth Vader poster and I was like, wow, I'm working in the wrong company. And so I just made a goal and it happened.
Awesome.
That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, because like for me, like right now the big thing is choosing between like, do I want to go digital marketing, like focusing on social media, or like do more traditional stuff with like big ad campaigns and all that. And like it's really like something I've been racking my brain for like quite a while, and I still haven't made the decision. But like hearing
Well,
that,
media buying and ad campaigns are never going to go away. The best thing you can do is get into SOE and like digital paid, like pay click, pay per click, like
okay.
ads. If I was going to pick something and go back and learn it, that would be the way to go. If you're going into advertising, if you're going into marketing, I would say digital's the way to go. But I mean, the hardest thing I would say is staying on top of social media and digital marketing trends. But you got to work at it because everything changes like every day. What's more important, where to find your audience and stuff like that.
No, for sure. Well, thanks for that. Honestly, that's
No
gonna
problem.
be like, it's gonna really help out for me, like for sure, to make a decision for like next semester or something, or 2 semesters from now.
Yeah, no worries. We're in a weird world right now.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Weird world indeed. Well, for now, which it will have to be digital until this pandemic gets sorted out.
Right,
For real.
right.
Yep. So there is that. Have you guys read any solo tie-in media or no? Like, say, that book that featured Kira and Han Solo, if I recall.
You're talking Most Wanted?
Yeah, I think so. That's what it's called.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I read Most Wanted when it came out, and I loved it. Yeah, I think I gave it like a high 7 or maybe even the 8s or something like that. And I generally recommend it as one that is like an underrated book. Like, hey, I don't think anybody really read this one, but it's pretty good. And if you like the idea of Solo and Solo 2 and you want more adventures, there you go. It's right there. It's right in front of you. Pick it up. It's a YA novel.
Okay.
Nice. Other stuff or just that book have you read?
Honestly, I don't really know that there's too much else. Other
I read
than like,
Last Shot. It was all right.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and there's the cadet,
The comic series.
the comic series. Yeah, so I mean, it's out there. I would rather them explore it in some sort of video format, ideally.
Solo
but
2.
yeah, I don't want to see Solo 2 by author.
Solo 2, a flip book where you just go like
Yeah,
this.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's probably because that's the thing. Because more people watch the movies than read the books. Because I feel like with us people who read the books, we're kind of outnumbered by the casuals that go to.
Yeah,
see
I
the
don't
movie.
I don't read a lot of the books. I usually like if there's a comic I like, I'll duck in and check it out. But a lot of times I'll watch James's spoiler reviews and get caught up that way because with Star Wars, my like reading and audiobooks are okay, but sometimes my attention span is just like pop, 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 and I'm just like, give me the visual content.
I get that. But like for me, I used to love reading like since like as a kid. So like that's why for me Star Wars is also like a little more book than film. And plus, I just like how it looks on a shelf, like having those like the classic
Yeah.
book covers and stuff. Just seeing that there, and also I started a job at a factory where basically I'm allowed to listen to audiobooks all day. So
Very
like that's
good.
how I've
Oh,
been getting my
nice.
fill now. Like I got Canon, I got Legends. I'm gonna be just going crazy by the end of like the week, basically.
That's awesome. Yep. So now there is one question I have, and it's one I kind of joked off behind the scenes with Wedge and Daniel because the Make Solo 2 hashtag team. So, what is your favorite character in all of Star Wars and your favorite movie?
Yeah, Han Solo and The Empire Strikes Back.
I told you guys they were gonna say Han Solo. I told you.
I'm easy to read. Yeah.
Okay. James, Lacey? Got it.
Gosh, favorite Star Wars movie is hard, right? I'm just probably gonna go with Return of the Jedi, but it bounces around a lot. I just think I like the finality of it. But favorite Star Wars character, this is crazy. It's Kanan Jarrus, but beyond that, Kanan Jarrus is my favorite fictional character of all time. I
Awesome.
weighed him up against everybody else too. And I couldn't think of anybody I enjoyed more than that character and what he stands for and everything about him. So Kanan Jarrus all the way. Easy win.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Mhm.
I can't pick one. So I'm going to just do half and half.
I'll take half of
So-
Solo. I'll take half of Kanan.
No,
Yeah.
It's Luke
Kanan
Skywalker
Solo.
and Kylo Ren and The Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens.
Nice.
Okay, nice. Going with the Return of the Jedi / Force Awakens 5. Like like basically, because you guys know that we haven't seen too much between what happened between episode 6 and 7. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it would be interesting
Yeah.
to see more of that. So yeah, I told you, Wedge, that one of them would say Han Solo.
I mean,
Absolutely.
he's such a badass. How can you not like him?
Yeah, he's the space cowboy. He's got the charisma, he's got the wit, and he's a badass.
And a scoundrel.
Yes.
And we know what Wedge is gonna say. His favorite character.
Jabba the Hutt.
Biggs Darth Vader.
That's a good one.
His name, Wedge Antilles.
Ah.
He's the man.
For me,
Married Nora.
yeah. For me, it's
It's true.
Oh yeah, I'll go. For me, it's Luke and Anakin.
No, that's
So you're half right.
for me. It used to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, mostly prequels, but I changed to Luke Skywalker after reading more of the expanded universe. That's what it was for me.
okay.
Yep. So there's that. And I know for Wedge, it is Wedge Antilles, but he sometimes alternates between him and Core and Horn. So
Yeah, basically the book nerd in me is like, oh, I like the book character, like pushing up my glasses.
yeah. I know how much you did that when we interviewed Michael A. Stackpole.
Yeah.
So
That like, honestly, if he had his camera on, he like I would have probably fainted in my chair. Honestly speaking,
you were already close to fainting that one last time.
literally.
So there is that. Now, shall we get on to with the minigame we got in mind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Wedge,
All right.
take it away.
All right. So tonight's topic is a solo 2 pitch. Put yourself in the mindset of a young marketer that's going to be making the big pitch to Kathleen Kennedy or Lucasfilm. You got to sell her on Solo 2 because the box office wasn't good, and you got to make sure it gets made for the fans. So what do you want to do with it? Who's it going to be? Who's going to be the surrounding cast? Which characters from the original cast are showing up? Which new characters are from like the Star Wars like mythos coming in? One new character, if you want, and what like format will it be in? Like, are we talking TV show, live action, or cartoon, movie series? Go crazy. We're gonna give ours too because I have such a good one that I've been thinking on for the past like 2 weeks.
It's so loaded.
I'm gonna
I
let
feel-
John go
Sorry, I
first.
got
Go
too
ahead, bud.
excited.
Creator of Make Solo 2 happen.
No, it's I would think it's already like kind of set itself up in a way at the end of Solo based on where all the characters went. So you just pick up from that, and I wouldn't overcomplicate it. So I'd start it off by having it be a series, and the first episode is Han and Chewie going exactly where they said they were going at the end of Solo, which is arriving at Jabba's palace. And then this way you get to incorporate all that nostalgia at Jabba's palace. You get Jabba the Hutt, Salacious Crumb. You can get Boba Fett in there.
The Rancor.
Greedo. You can get the Rancor, the Gamorrean guards, Ula, the whole shebang, Max Rebo, all of that. And he starts working for Jabba, and it starts off with him convincing Jabba that he needs to work with him. And I would sprinkle in the other characters, and I would bring Kira back and Maul, and check in with Crimson Dawn, and maybe there's a clash at the end of the first season of all the crime syndicates going after each other. And then in terms of a new character I would throw in, I think it would be interesting for a little bit of a revenge game if there was a son of Beckett's that we didn't know about that wanted to get revenge on Han Solo for killing his father. I think that'd be kind of a cool little throw in. But
Nice.
yeah, that's all I got really, but I think that'd be fun.
I like it.
I thought it would be fun to bring in Boba Fett just because it would explain why Han knows him and they hate each other.
I would be down with that for sure. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like I mean I don't know. I mean you could go down different routes if you wanted to, but I think like what John is pitching is kind of the most realistic. Because they set it up for the whole Jabba thing, and that's probably the direction they want to go. As far as Jabba, being kind of on Han's side still, I know he's not, but he's still in association with him when we get to Return of the Jedi and all that. I still think that that you probably need to have Han win the day for Jabba. Like whoever is the adversary in this is like, maybe it is Crimson Dawn. Maybe he has to go up against Crimson Dawn. And the Hutt's like, hey, these Crimson people, them. Maybe that's why you could get association. You need to go in and win over this Kira girl to try to figure out how we can make these deals happen or shut them out altogether or whatever. And Han has to figure out a way to navigate the situation with Kira and all of the stuff. But I would imagine it by the end of the movie, it's like a Han, my boy, you know what I mean? You've done it. You've won the day for me.
He's like his golden employee. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I think like leaving on that note would be really good. And you can fill in the gap with like books or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, actors and stuff, that stuff starts to get crazy. Like what, if you really want to get into the nitty gritty of the pitch and stuff. I don't know, maybe swing back. I'd like to hear some other ideas too.
All right, Daniel, you want to go ahead?
Okay, I'm up. So I'd
Mhm.
probably go either way. A movie, probably if it was a movie, I'd have it closer to A New Hope, and then it would end with the cantina scene in A New Hope. And then, like for a series, I think you can go more expansive because I think is what you guys said. A series could be the probably the best route, ideally, because you can tell more story. Because a movie you have to cram so much in
Yeah.
2 hours, and then I mean, you can you explore more about the Pikes, see them more in the live action. You can even see the Black Sun even more. They were in the animation in Clone Wars, and then they were in Legends as well, so they can also have that as well, like bring them in, and then have all the Crimson Dawn stuff in a solo sequel series, or even if they get their own spin-off and stuff. So go there. So and then even if we do like something, maybe we could see how Darth Maul ends up on Malachor in Rebels, because we know where he ends up at Rebels, and then he dies in Rebels. So yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Nice. Wedge?
It's like a little bit unorthodox, but I was gonna go full animated series in the style of Rebels, actually,
Wow.
Mhm.
because
Okay.
like I really liked how they went with the Ralph McQuarrie aesthetic. So it's like if they continued to build off that, I would have really liked that. Like obviously fix some issues, like with like fourth season they had fixed like a lot of animation related stuff with like better flow. But anyway, my story would be how it would follow Han and Chewie going through the galaxy doing odd jobs for Jabba in the style of like kind of like how the X-Files did like Monster of the Week. Instead it would be like Job of the Week, and it would give them a chance to explore different planets, do some like run-ins with the Rebel Alliance, with Crimson Dawn, with the Empire, and eventually build up to this sort of big like fight with like Crimson Dawn, where they would get eliminated, and like hence why Maul would be like abandoned by rebels, and like like the bitter old man that Ezra finds him in. And then the series would end with Han basically being older and walking into the cantina before meeting like Luke and Obi-Wan.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Sounds good to me.
I love that. Yeah.
Nice.
I definitely think like it's just one of those things like who doesn't want this? Who doesn't want this to happen? If this was announced that like, hey, we're doing Job of the Week, and it's Han Solo and he's going around the galaxy and all this, it's like who's not going to watch that? Who's not going to like be like, well, I already have Disney Plus, but I'm not going to watch that show. That looks stupid.
The only person who would not want an animated series is Jonas Sotomo.
Yeah, that's true.
He'd be out of a job.
While we're on the animation thing, Rebels is not bad, but we just got that thing from Squadrons and like people loved it. So maybe trying to push the animation in more of like a hyper real, like make it, you could play the thing like, hey, it looks like Harrison Ford now, or like, hey, we've kind of tweaked it along the seasons that now it kind of is starting to look a little bit more like Harrison Ford. You can kind of play with that a little bit. I don't know. I think it could be really interesting if they went down that route. And I think people would get stoked on it because it would feel real, but clearly not need like the budget and the craziness of like, I don't know, the commitment, I guess, to live action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's actually an amazing idea. I love that. And plus they're going to already have like the assets from like pretty much everything that's been made beforehand, and whatever assets they have to make, they could just reuse it later. So it's like saves money.
Yeah.
Listen to us, Lucasfilm, please.
Maybe someone from Lucasfilm will be watching this.
Well, somebody's gonna have to send a link to this video to them for that.
All right.
So
It's like the guy in the mailroom. Like,
there's my pitch for Solo 2. God, this is something I actually didn't plan for. Not gonna lie, the farthest I got was Han and Chewie getting to the cantina and also doing something terrible to Lando, because that was referenced in episode 5. And also him getting that bounty on his head from Jabba the Hutt. That's as far as I got, and probably the robbery of Boba Fett. So That's all.
Yeah, there's so many. That's a good point. Like sometimes you could just hit those bullet points because there's so many references or small little things that Han and Chewie say to each other throughout the original trilogy, and even in The Force Awakens, where you're like, I wonder when that happened. Like I would love to see that, or like the Ord Mandel thing, or like all the different things that you could go back and revisit. So, I mean, even just laying that out there is a good idea. Yeah.
Which is a criticism of Solo, saying like it was like a bullet point movie, like they just wanted to cover all the hits, if you will. How did he get his blaster? How did he get his name? Where's the Kessel Run? How did he meet Lando? How did he meet Chewie? Kind of those things. I think if you did the series route, you can stretch your legs a little bit. You know what I mean? Make those hits happen, every few episodes or a couple of season, or something like that.
Mhm.
And not have to be so like, well, we've got 2 hours to tell the story.
Yeah.
That's
2
it.
hours.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And compared to the Han Solo book trilogies, which were like 3 books each, yeah, definitely is much shorter than 2 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is that. Okay, well, that was my pitch. I didn't have much, so
Oh, another thing I'm thinking in a pitch in a solo series, I'd probably bring in like Dash Rendar, and I'd even bring in from Black Sun Prince Shizor as well.
Oh wow.
Yes. Why did I think of that? Dash Rendar and Han Solo in the EU are pretty good friends. I mean, and in this,
Yeah.
they bring him to Solo 2. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and then it's the book Shadow Games that I think there's Han and Dash together.
Oh, I haven't read that one. I think I do have it, but I haven't read it yet.
Dash Rendar is apparently in the special edition of A New Hope.
Yeah, because the Outrider is there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they showcase that. So, he's
Around.
canon, I guess, or like
Yeah.
he's in that world of people. Yeah.
He's out
Yeah.
and about. Just a dude
Yeah.
named Dash Rendar. Nothing else we know about him.
Right.
Yep, indeed. So, here's the conclusion. So, final words to say since this broadcast?
Just thanks for having us on. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
For anybody out there listening who doesn't or hearing us for the first time here, you can subscribe to us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, anywhere you get your podcasts. And we're up 2 days a week, Mondays and Thursdays, every Monday and Thursday. And the Mando Fan Shows on Fridays, starting on October 30th. And next Friday, like I said, September 25th, 8:45. Live commentary. We're doing Solo, a Star Wars story watch-along party. It's going to be a good time, a good party, a good bash. So be there on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Star Wars Newsnet videos. 8:45 East, the party kicks off, and we're releasing a limited supply of enamel Make Solo 2 Happen pins. So you don't want to miss those.
Okay.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Lacey Gilleran.
Yep. We're pretty quick with this. Twitter and Instagram at Meyer Trunks for me.
Johnny
that's
Hoey and at StarWarsNewsNet.com. By the way, yeah, Star Wars Newsnet is the site you should go to for all your Star Wars news. That's that's our site. I write for the site, and it's also the affiliate of the podcast, StarWarsNewsNet.com.
And if they make Solo 2 without a Jabba puppet, I take it back.
Okay. So, I guess that's it for this video. We'll see you guys on the next State of Star Wars video. And on the next interview, who knows who would it be? Well, talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you later.
See ya.